All right, it's 5 minutes after 10 o'clock. It is time for auto repair with personal care. Matt Gibbs is in the studio to answer your questions about your cars. And, of course, Matt is the owner of Sunrise Automotive and Crossroad Auto Sales. And the phone number to call in to speak to Matt is 622-9622. How you doing, Matt?
Good, Larry. How are you?
Very good. There was a car story this morning. Can I share it with you?
There was a car story?
Car story. Yeah. I want to do this. Guess what it was about. I think you're going to guess.
Really?
Yeah.
Cars that are going to the moon now.
The Department of Transportation plans to issue new guidelines today aimed at the growing number of self-driving car tests on the roads. Can you believe that?
Yeah.
The feds will now require tech companies to meet a 15-point assessment on autonomous cars. You're gonna have to learn what that assessment list is.
I don't want to get involved in it at this point.
You're gonna have a self-driving car roll into your parking, whatever, your garage one day. I don't know how you communicate with it. Maybe there'll be a note. Please fix my car.
No, like I just purchased a car the other last week, and it has a recorder in it, and you can hit a button.
A voice recorder?
Yeah. So, like, if you want to get groceries and stuff, you want to make yourself a note.
Oh, okay.
So the people could just leave me a note.
Okay.
If the car is going to be so far advanced that it can just drive around all by itself, it can let me know what it needs. It can probably tell me what it needs. I need a new O2 sensor, right?
I wonder.
Bank 1 sensor 2.
I know we're joking, but I wonder how true that is. I wonder if it's. This is what I wonder. Are you going to show up at the garage one day? And there'll be a car waiting for you, just like you do now. Robin and I have left our cars there and put the key in the little slot.
Yeah, in the drop box.
So the car will arrive. Of course, you'll have to have a way to unlock it and to start it, I guess. I don't know how. Wow, this is an interesting.
The people, when they buy it, they come over and it reads my retinas and my eyes. So it knows who I am. It's like my phone knows my thumbprint, so the car knows who I am.
Does your phone know your thumbprint?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You want to see? Watch.
So I can't mess with your phone?
No, you can't. So you can swipe it like that, and it says Touch ID or enter password.
Right.
So if I just touch it,
and
it turns on.
And it knows it's you.
It knows it's my thumbprint. That's
pretty cool. So if I get a self-driving car... Of course, I'm always at least 10 years behind. So.
Well, yeah, so you're good.
So if self-driving cars become popular next year.
By the time self-driving cars become popular, you'll need a self-driving car.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking the same thing. I'll be too old. I'll have to have it'll be like having a chauffeur.
It would be. I wonder if it'll can go shopping for you and stuff too. Like as you're driving to the Publix.
Wait a minute.
It's sending out a message.
Okay. Who's telling me this? I think it was Dan telling me this. Or was it Anthony? That they have parking lots now that have smart parking lots. So did this come up on your show?
No, it didn't. We only talk about stupid parking lots on this show.
A smart parking lot will tell the smart car where the spaces are available.
Hey, look at all the violence it's going to reduce, especially on Black Friday.
Yeah, driving through a parking lot is actually scarier than driving on a street. Well, it depends on the street, I guess, but most streets.
It could be.
Anyway, so yeah, so a 15-point assessment will develop a cohesive set of national regulations. That's what and it's today. Yeah. The Department of Transportation plans to issue new guidelines today.
Today, not tomorrow.
So that means in tomorrow's news, you'll be able to see what the 15 points are that you'll have to do.
I guarantee you I won't lose no sleep over those.
No, I don't think so. I'm just fascinated by the whole thing. So how have you been?
I'm good. Good.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's Tuesday.
The other day we went to a bowling thing for Habitat for Humanity.
Okay.
And we had some stuff with us, our musical stuff and everything, and because that's what we were doing, even though it was so loud you couldn't hear us, which is great for a musician because you can make all the mistakes you want. And so Doug wanted to come home with us, and so he said, "Do you have room?" Yes, we have room. But I was thinking, if I had that little red car, I would have had to say, "No, I don't have any room."
Yeah, unless you get on the top, brother.
And you can't get on the top on a convertible.
No,
so
that's true too.
we would have caved in. Autumn is 2 days from today, and I got to come get my oil changed, by the way.
Here we go.
How come my light didn't come on telling me so? I looked at the number, and I passed the number. I said, "Uh-oh, the light didn't come on." Last time the light came on, it said you need to change the oil.
We don't set the.
Oh, you don't set it?
No, well, we reset it,
Uh-huh.
but it's not in. It's set up for normal driving conditions. We do the mileage due to severe driving conditions. Mm-hmm. So you would probably have to go through 2 oil changes for that light to come on.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll be there sooner than that.
Yeah, you don't want to wait another.
My oil I know people are going to hate this, but I have a little tiny lawnmower, and it's been with me for years. I'm a decade, and I put the worst oil. I put the cheapest oil in there, and it works fine.
Hey, it works, right?
So it matters, right?
Yeah.
And I hate cutting the grass.
I do too. Actually, I enjoy cutting part of my grass.
Why?
Because it's my alone time. I can sit there on my mower and I put on my headphones. I listen to my music. I have some time just to have my own thoughts.
Not fixing any cars.
Not fixing no cars.
Do you ever have to think, like as a group, do you ever have to get together with the other mechanics and say, what do you think this is? Like something is perplexing to whoever the mechanic is working on the car. Do you ever have to all get together?
All the time.
All the time?
All the time.
Really? Yeah. So it's not always cut and dried?
No, it's never cut and dry. Never.
We have a phone call. And by the way, the phone lines are open. If you want to call Matt, the number is 622-9622. Good morning. You're on the air with Matt.
Yeah, good morning, guys.
Morning.
Say, Matt, I'm kind of taking care of. I'm car sitting for my son, who is going to be gone for a month or so, and so I got his car by my place in the garage. He had a brake job done at about 1,000 miles ago, and I only drive it maybe once or twice a week just to drive it, And when I'm backing out of the garage, the brakes squeal real hard, kind of a streamish. Is that a normal thing for a car with new brakes?
Yeah, and once you drive it for a few minutes, it all goes away, right?
Exactly. Well, just when I go in reverse.
Okay. I mean, yeah, if the first thing you're doing is backing out of a garage, you'd be surprised how much rust will build up on the rotors and stuff like that just from it sitting there. Because you got to remember, the metal on the rotor itself is unprotected. It's pure metal. There's no paint, there's no primer, there's no nothing on that rotor. It's just metal. So the moisture in the air, whatever, it can build up a little bit of rust residue, and then the first time you hit the brake, you're going to clean them all up and you're ready to go. We experience that all the time on the car lot. If the car sits there for a few days and hasn't been moved, the brakes tend to make a funny noise.
Oh, okay. So that's a normal thing then.
Yeah.
Is that like kind of the noise you would hear when your brakes are getting low?
It could be. It has that groan, that metallic type sound to it. Yes. But most all the cars out there today have sensors on them, on their brake pads, because most of the cars nowadays are full-wheel disc brakes, and they all have little sensors on there, so you usually will get a squealing sound of like, running your fingers over the chalkboard type sound.
Oh, no.
And that's an indicator that the sensor could be touching the rotor.
Okay, that's time to change them then, huh?
And that would be at least time to check them.
Check them, yeah. Okay, well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right, we'll be right back. If you have a question about your car or anything with an engine, this is a good time to call. Or about autonomous cars. The number is 622-9622. We will be right back.
Is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. A mixture of sun and clouds with a couple of thunderstorms in the area during the afternoon hours. High of 87 to 89, and then it clears back out tonight, a low of 72 to 75. Tomorrow and Thursday, we'll have another thunderstorm in the afternoon. Otherwise, partly sunny with a high of 88 to 90. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Maggie Johnson.
Gene Powell Pasture Mowing. Our tractor services include bush hog, disking, front end loader, box blade, and stump grinding. We also have zero-turn mowers for the smaller paddocks, aisleways, fence rows, and lawn care. Fence row spraying is also available for weed control. We are licensed and insured. Gene Powell Pasture Mowing, 352-629-2440, or online at powellgene, Gene, at yahoo.com. Gene Powell Pasture Mowing.
Hey, this is Matt Wilkerson with Verizon. Do you have teenage drivers or elderly parents that drive? I have what you need. It's the new Hum device by Verizon. Plugs directly into your car and sends alerts to your cell phone on the location, speed, and driving habits. And you set boundary alerts. You can call and speak live with an ASC certified mechanic. And if you have an accident and can't respond, Hum will automatically send for help. All this and more for just $10 a month. And if you're in Marion County, I'll even deliver and set it up for free. Call me 352-528-0020.
When you go into Automax, Marion County's #1 pre-owned dealer for over 15 years, you won't take the new car depreciation because Automax saves you thousands on late model vehicles. Browse the inventory online at automaxocala.com. Then come down to see the great vehicles and upfront pricing in person. Compare up to 60 models inside the climate control showroom. So take your time. No high pressure, no gimmicks, no games. On the corner of 17th and Easy Street. Automax. Quality cars, outlet prices.
Are you a list maker? Got your day planner laid out to structure your day? Well, here's something to add to your list. Make time for something really important. Visit Highland Memorial Park, because how you prepare for that moment is so important. Why Highland? Sure, it's a beautiful place, but aside from the beauty and the quiet reflection, practical people will appreciate the many options. Take a tour and make some serious plans. The Highland staff will confidentially show you all options and payment plans. Call today, 369-1020, Highland Memorial Park. Peace and reflection for your family.
All right, 18 minutes after 10 o'clock, Matt Gibbs is here. We're talking about cars and other vehicles. What is the biggest vehicle you have ever seen? We were just talking about this Walmart container ship. It is, what did we say, 1,000? It's a 207-foot beam. It's too big to fit through the Panama Canal. It's too big to fit through the Suez Canal. This is what Walmart gets its products from China. Can you imagine working on that engine?
The engines and those kind of ships and
Plural, right? There's several of them, right?
Yeah. Well, it might be one engine, but like when I was in high school, I got to see a piston for a big ship.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And the piston.
Is there a spark plug that goes in that thing?
No, it was more like a diesel. It ran off compression, not off a spark.
Okay.
But the piston was probably, I mean, we're sitting in the studio right now, but it was probably 12 foot in diameter.
Wow.
You would actually go inside and work on the inside on the cylinders. It was crazy.
Wow. And how does the lubrication, the oil, how does that?
The oil system on this one was just a splash oiling system.
It must be hundreds of gallons of oil.
Oh, the thousands of gallons of oil. Look at the in Pearl Harbor. You know, when did that happen? 1941.
Right. 40. Yeah. Right.
And that the Arizona
It's still leaking.
is still leaking a quart of oil a day.
Is that right? It's a quart a day?
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And it's been 50 years.
And they still use that same technology? I mean, as far as the cruise ships that people ride on?
No, the cruise ships are diesel. I've never been able to get my way down into like the engine room. Boy, that would fascinate me. That would be like. But I've asked. I've been on several cruises, and I've asked, and they.
Can I see the engine?
Yeah, they look at me like I'm stupid.
Oh my gosh, that would be awesome to see the engine.
It would be.
There's a World War II ship down in Tampa that's docked, and you're allowed to take tours. I wonder if they give you tours of the engine room.
I don't know. That would be really, really cool. As a matter of fact, the starter, okay, the starter that they used to start the engine on the ship was a 6-cylinder Volvo engine.
Wow.
So in order to start the motor on the ship, they had to have a 6-cylinder Volvo engine was the starter for the ship.
That's amazing.
That's
really
crazy.
amazing. We do have a phone call. Good morning. You're on the air with Matt.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning. The cruise ship industry has gone over to diesel electric propulsion.
Yes.
There are no more steam turbines out there.
Yep.
And reciprocating steam is antique. I mean, it was already antique in the 50s.
Huh.
It's okay. It's over my head. I guess you're talking his language. He's talking your language.
Yeah, I understand what he's saying.
Okay. Thank you, Jim.
Okay, look, have a good day.
So when you go out on your boat, do you measure your speed in knots?
No.
What do you measure it in? Miles per hour?
Yeah, well, I more tend to look at my RPM. I try to, it depends on what we're doing.
Oh, that's just the engine, though. That doesn't show you how fast you're going, right?
No, but my boat would go about 60 miles an hour. So if you're pulling a tube, you go one speed. If you're pulling skiers, you go on one speed. If you're pulling like a wakeboard or hydro slide, you go a different speed. So and I regulate that by watching RPM. If you're going to dinner, it's wide open.
It says this big ship that comes from China for Walmart goes 18 to 20 knots, and I was just going to ask you, what is that?
I don't know
what does that mean.
We should have kept Jim on the line. He probably could have figured it out for us real quick.
How fast? I can do it here. Here's Google right here. How fast? What did it say? 20 knots?
18, I thought you said.
Okay, 18 knots. How fast is 18 knots? How fast is 18 knots in mph? There it is. See, Google does everything. Oh my gosh. 1 kilometer per hour equals what? Okay. I said knots. I didn't say km. Okay. Knots. 18 knots. How fast is 18 knots? Here we go. 18 knots equals 20 miles per hour. Well, it's almost the same thing then.
Yeah.
Well, that's good.
That's cruise. How long is that ship? 1,200 feet?
The ship is the cruising speed is 31 knots.
Oh Lord.
The cruising speed is 31 knots. Okay, let's see. It's where's the length? 1,302 feet long, 207 feet wide. The cargo is 123,000 tons. The engine has 14 cylinders inline. It's a diesel engine. What does this mean? 110,000 bhp. What does that mean?
Brake horsepower?
I don't know.
No, seriously.
Is that what it is? I don't know. They measure boats in horsepower. I got in trouble last time we got into this horsepower conversation.
They regulate all power in horsepower.
There's only 13 people in the crew, though. There's only 13 people there. It cost $145 million, by the way, to make this thing. The silicone painting applied to the ship bottom reduces water resistance and saves 317,000 gallons of diesel per year. Why the paint on the bottom?
Wow.
Have you ever done something for somebody's car to reduce the air resistance and give them more miles per gallon?
Well,
do those things work?
It does. You just have to. If it's a diesel engine, we can do a lot of things for a little bit of money to increase fuel economy, power, intake, exhaust. We can do a lot of things real quick. On gasoline engines, it's kind of like for every one thing that you do, you have to.
So it's a difference.
For every action, there has to be a reaction, kind of thing. See, with a diesel engine, I mean, I could put a computer chip in the newer diesel engines, kind of like what Volkswagen did with the, seriously, they figured out a way to give the people way more performance than what they were supposed to have, and that was all computer stuff.
Do you know, Patsy is in the hospital, and we went to visit her yesterday. She's got pneumonia. She's doing good. So it looked like she was doing good. But the only reason I'm telling you is because the elevator, when it gets to the floor, it has a Volkswagen horn. It gets to the second floor, beep. I swear they put a Volkswagen horn in there.
Is it a German-made elevator? If it is, I ain't riding on that sucker.
So 14 cylinders inline. I wonder if these cylinders are the size that you would describe.
Yeah, they're probably pretty massive.
Wow.
I mean, you stop and think about how, you said how much the tonnage of the stuff that ship.
Just how much it can carry, yeah.
Yeah. How much the ship cost.
Okay. How
much does it weigh?
Let's see. They hold an incredible 15,000 containers, have a 207-foot deck beam. What, only 13 guys work on this boat. Wow, that must be some lonely trip, huh? The command bridge is higher than a 10-story building, has 11 cargo crane rigs that can operate simultaneously, unloading the entire ship in less than 2 hours. There you go.
That's amazing. And that's Walmart.
That's Walmart. Yeah, that's how you get your products from China.
Probably most everything in Walmart's from China.
Yeah, 91%. 91% of all Walmart products are made in China.
Donald Trump needs to do something about all that.
No, he probably wouldn't, because ultimately it's about the profit, right? And the reason that's so cheap is why? Because the labor over there is so cheap.
I actually looked into doing some manufacturing for myself, and when the boys were racing motorcycles, we were actually going to create our own company, and like an air filter. You go to your local dealership and buy an air filter, and it's all it is a piece of foam.
Right.
There's nothing to it. It's just foam, and they're $20 here. Well, when I was doing my research, I could get them made for like 60 cents in China. And then they would make them for you. And so
that's one thing we can't ship. You can't outsource for labor on your automobile. You can't send your car to China to have it fixed.
No, you can take it to Sunrise Automotive.
Yeah, that's what I do. Do you ever get people who recognize the fact that your labor is fair? When on the bill, at the end of the bill, it separates it into parts and labor, right? Mm-hmm. I always look at this and say, oh my gosh, this is, to me, and I'm not just saying this because you do the show, and I've had other mechanics who's like, oh my gosh, is it really, that's how much they get paid? It was in there an hour. But when I look at your bill, it seems reasonable.
I try to be reasonable. You try to do as much as you can.
But at the same time, we want to be fair as customers to you guys. We don't want...
Well, and to be honest with you, I have to look at it and say, this is what I feel is fair. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, like I just got notification, my workman's comp, because being a mechanic is one of the highest workman's comp rates because of the danger involved.
Right.
So I just got a 17% increase on my workman's comp. Well, somewhere down the line, I got to figure out a way to cover that 17%.
Sure,
so that gets factored into the cost of doing business.
Yeah.
But as a matter of fact, I just changed payroll companies because I go through a payroll company, and I had to change my payroll company because the one I went to is going to absorb some of that cost of
really
the workman's comp, so that I don't have to hit the customer with it. You see what I'm saying?
But I mean, something like putting in a battery. People don't realize sometimes that takes longer than you might realize.
Especially today's batteries, and people don't realize how dangerous putting in a battery is. I mean, it produces hydrogen gas, and I don't know if anybody out there has ever had a battery explode.
No, but I've seen the face of a guy who had all that acid explode in his face.
I saw what used to be the face of a guy that I knew.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, that's too sad. Matt, we're out of time. My recommendation is if you have a car that needs to be repaired, take it to Matt. If you need a new car, go to Matt. He sold me a brand new car. Well, brand new. It was a 10-year-old car, but it's like a brand new car. It really is. Still is today. Crossroad Auto Sales and Sunrise Automotive both are at the same location, and the number is?
The number is 690-1993.
Okay. Thank you, Matt.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. Ahmed Rahami being held on more than $5 million bond, but investigators probing whether anyone helped in the planned bombings in New York and New Jersey.
A government source told Fox News that a note with Arabic symbols and writing was found with one of the unexploded devices. The source said the symbols were described as kind of typical of ISIS.
Fox's Catherine Herridge.
Despite these very public statements at yesterday's news conference, two sources said the view among rank-and-file investigators in New York, New Jersey, as well as at the federal level here in Washington, is that the search is not over and they are working on the premise there are others who supported Rahami until proven otherwise.
Gas prices continue their climb in many southern states after a pipeline leak in Alabama, according to AAA. And a fund for Florida nightclub shooting victims now holds more than $26 million in donations. Fox News, we report, you decide.
ADT presents What to Consider When Considering Home Security. An ADT sign is more than a sign. It's a line in the sand. On one side, your family. On the other, an uncertain world.
For over 140 years, more people have chosen ADT to help prevent crime than anyone else. Get ADT starting at just $28.99 a month.
Tested, trusted, proven ADT.
With 36-month contract for licensing and terms and conditions, visit ADT.com.
Hey guys, with